Okay, guys, welcome to Tarps Off MMA UFC 260. Jack and new heavyweight champion of the world, Francis Ngannou. He avenges the first loss versus Stipe Miocic. Brutal, vicious knockout, Jack. But let's start at the beginning of the card. Jamie Mullarkey with a quick first round finish. How did you like that fight?
I really liked that fight. I picked Mullarkey going into it, even though he was the underdog, because of his knockout power. He's been on a knockout tear in his last couple fights, and I thought he was going to get the finish by knockout tonight. You called me before the fight and you said, who's going to win? And I said Mullarkey. You asked me how he's going to do it, and I told you by knockout, and he delivered.
Delivered me my only betting win of the night, Jack. I got my ass kicked on this card because I was chasing plus money. But you know what? We go on to the second fight of the evening. It was Canada versus USA. And Maverick, she comes out on top over Robertson. How did you find that fight?
I expected Maverick to win, but I expected Maverick to win in much more dominant fashion. Hats off to Robertson for giving it
She gave her a
one
great
hell
fight.
of a fight. I mean, I think that she really dominated in what was that, the second round, I believe. And
Yeah.
Maverick won the other two rounds, but she
The
gave
first
her a
round was
hell of a fight.
dominant. Yeah. Maverick came out. It was a dominant first round. You had Robertson come back in the second round, and she was great. She must have had Maverick's back 5 or 6 different times, Jack. It was actually really, really impressive. But you know what? Not as impressive as Shane O'Malley tonight, man. What a fight first. Almeida, I guess that's how you would pronounce it. Almeida, he's fantastic as well. And you know what? It looked like in the first round, O'Malley dropped him and then almost like walked away. Thought he had a walk away KO. Almeida gets up, ends up lasting until the third round, but O'Malley was too quick, too precise, and absolutely KO'd the shit out of him
in the third round. But you have to go back to the second round of that fight. So after you see O'Malley almost knock Almeida out in the first round, Thomas Almeida comes back in the second round and wins the round.
Big win.
That. It was a back and
easily too.
Yeah, but O'Malley did end up using that knockout power. We all know he has. That's why he's a fan favorite. He's a fan favorite because of his personality and what he can do in the ring, and that is knock people out. And that's what he did to Thomas Almeida in the third round there.
Okay, and then we had it was like the unofficial co-main event of the evening. Obviously, we lost the original one to COVID. Tyron Woodley, Jack, he takes the loss to Luque in the first round via Darsh choke. Got rocked. Tyron Woodley has not been the same fighter. I think that after especially Usman and then you have Colby Covington finish him. It's been rough for him here. I know he has one fight left
Colby
on
was
his
a decision.
contract. Okay, that's right. But he's been, he's not the same fighter he was, Jack. I think he have one fight left on his contract. I think he does, but does he even get through that, or does maybe the UFC let him go here?
I think it's time for Tyron Woodley to hang up the gloves. He had a tremendous career, was a champion for a while, absolutely fought the best of the best, never ducked fights, hell of a competitor. Gonna go down in UFC history as one of those great guys, but it's done. I loved when he came out of that fight, like the very first 10 seconds, it was like, oh, he's pressing. This looks like the Tyron Woodley of old, but it didn't last very long. He pinned Luque against the cage for a while, and it looked like he was going to dominate the fight that way. But then as soon as they split up, Luque started piecing him up and landing those significant strikes, and it was all over from there. He could have knocked him out, but he chose to do it in style and lock in that Darce choke for the win.
Yeah, that was a big win for Luque there. That was tough on Woodley. Tough to see a guy, with such a storied career go down like that. But Jack, we go to the main event of the evening. Francis Ngannou knocks Stipe Miocic out cold. The only guy at Tarps Off MMA to take Francis Ngannou was me. You know what, man? You saw it as soon as the first round happened. Stipe goes for a takedown on Francis. Francis pulls perfectly, perfect takedown defense. The fight stands back up, and all of a sudden, Stipe's in trouble. Francis is throwing overhand lefts, rights, and eventually hits a right that knocks Miocic out cold. He lands a hammer fist to him for good measure before Herb Dean could get in. Jack, Francis Ngannou, this is a guy who was left for dead in the desert, not one time, not two times, not three times, not 4, 5, 6, but 7 times trying to flee Cameroon through Morocco, left for dead in a goddamn desert. What they do, right? They don't necessarily arrest you. They just drop you in the desert and assume you're going to die. This guy doesn't quit. After I read his story, I was full sending Ngannou on this new heavyweight champion of the world, John Jones. Jack, he is up next. That should be an incredible fight. But what did you take out of Ngannou tonight versus Miocic?
So I knew we were in for a completely different fight when Stipe shot for that single leg in the first round. Ngannou was able to use his takedown defense that he now has, and he proved that he now has takedown defense. He stuffed the head. He actually swung around Stipe. Like, he out-wrestled Stipe. He outboxed Stipe. I mean, Ngannou, he looks like he might be a real problem now. If he has that takedown defense, which he showed it against one of the best wrestlers, maybe the best heavyweight wrestler of all time in the UFC. I mean, Cain Velasquez is in that conversation, but Stipe's right there with him. And Ngannou showed it against him. That's going to be very difficult for everybody, because if John Jones can't take him down, then he's not going to win a striking battle with Francis Ngannou. I'm sorry, but that guy just hits harder than anyone on planet Earth.
He hits like a Ford Escalade going top speed, buddy. It's insanity, guys. Speaking of insanity, Jack, we have signed Jake Shields. He is coming to the tarpsoffsports.com network and bringing the Jake Shield podcast, which will happen right here on YouTube. Click subscribe. You don't want to miss it. Jake Shields coming to Tarps Off. He was working with Francis Ngannou on the takedown defense, on the BJJ, on the wrestling, Jack, and all of a sudden, Francis Ngannou, heavyweight champion of the world, and new. You love to see it, guys. Hit subscribe, like, comment. We'll be back for UFC 261, but I want to let you know that Tarps Off Sports is powered by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, or if you're in Canada, go to ca.manscaped.com and use promo code TARPSOFF for 20% off your purchase and free shipping. You need the right tools for the family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Go to manscaped.com or ca.manscaped.com and hit promo code TARPS OFF. That's TARPS OFF, all one word, guys. The Lawnmower 3.0, it's the best ball trimmer in the game. Will be back for UFC